to Me. Today we'll be talking stories of forgiveness, time, and money matters. I'm your host, Brenda Warren, the Solutionist. I see things other people often miss, and I'm excited to talk to you today. Today's show is sponsored by Take Action University, where we only graduate implementers. And today I'm going to have some major implementers with me as we discuss forgiveness and time and money. Are you ready to talk about the daddy-daughter dynamic and the truth about how to save money and time? Amazingly simple business success tips? Then let's do it. Hi, I'm Brenda Warren, and I'm going to be joined by two of my Power Team members of the Power 13. And we're going to start bringing those ladies to the stage so we can get this on and popping. Let's see, we have Robin in the building. Come on, Robin. And then we have Miss Jane. Focus on love. Robin, please forgive me, but I realized just then that I don't know the name of your business. What is the name of your business, please, ma'am?
All Aspects Tax Services. How are you doing today?
All aspects. Did you hear what she said? All aspects tax
Tax
service.
service.
So, because today we're going to be talking about our books that's being released, and I just want to put it up there on the thing again today. Daddy Daughter Dynamic has already received the #1 release badge because we roll like that. But we're still working towards getting #1 bestseller badge because we are a bestseller, but we want to be #1 bestseller because we like the way that badge rolls. This book is a book completed by 13 women, a collaboration that has us sharing our roads that we travel to forgiveness, healing, self-awareness, and most importantly, self-love. So we're going to talk about that today. And while these ladies are here with me, I want to start with Robin because me and Focus talked earlier and y'all done heard us talk. So if some of you are watching right now and are coming over from Facebook or in LinkedIn or on YouTube, I want you to know that our group is excited because this has been a long time coming. Yeah. And like I said, there's 13 dynamic women that collaborated to make this book a possibility. And I'm going to put it up here one more time on the screen before we talk because we want you to go to Amazon.com. Yeah. Type in Daddy Daughter Dynamics, and you will be able to purchase this book for 99 cents on ebook. And remember, you don't even have to have a Kindle now to do this because they have the ebook app that will let you still be able to read it. But it's the Daddy Daughter Dynamic, and we want you to cast your vote for us being a #1 because we want to make an impact. We plan to make a difference because each story in this book is a journey, as I said, to forgiveness, healing, self-awareness, and most importantly, self-love. With that, Robin over there at All Aspects Tax Services doing her thing. Just dropped out of the feed, so she's going to come back. Don't just love lives, Focus. Do you not love the way we roll in a live?
We got to know how to roll because life, technology, all of that is just how it happens.
So while we're waiting for Robin to get back into our feed, let's talk to Focus. Miss Focus James, life and love coach, who is so awesome, always having juicy conversations so people can live a juicy life. And there go Robin, she's back with this again. But we want to get her in first. Hey, Robin, tell us, what made you want to be part of the Daddy-Daughter Dynamic?
Well, it was brought to me in a way that I knew that it would be a great way to tell my story as well as share other insight and healing. So I think it was just an honor to be a part of and an honor to just share at this point.
Okay. And, when we all started coming together, none of us knew who we were and how our stories are going to go. Earlier, Focus and I were talking about how being a part of this project caused you to make new family connections or even new connections with yourself. How do you feel like this helped you?
It was a step in the right direction it was a step in the right direction to finally open up where I hadn't shared before about my perspective on things that happened in my life.
Now, since you are a business owner and everything, how did opening those old wounds as you were working through this process for all these months affect your business?
Mm.
It was it was very motivational. It was very insightful. It gave me a look into how I could handle this if I went through all of this stuff. I have the capability in order to do my best, do more, and do better.
Okay.
So, hinging on the experiences and the information that my father instilled in me kind of helped me catapult my business into a better direction.
And I will say, Robin, with that thought, now that you've gone through the process, what advice would you give a woman that has been approached to be a part of a collaborative like this? Because you know there's going to be a follow on.
Yes.
What advice would you give to them to prepare themselves, maybe mentally, emotionally, even physically, to go through this process?
Mm. Mm.
Go in and go hard. It's a soul searching kind of situation, and you've got to move forward and do your best. It's not everyone that gets an opportunity to share insightful information and share their healing on a broader spectrum than most. So I tell anybody, search yourself, search your soul, pray, and go ahead and do it anyway.
Mm. Mm.
Thanks, Robin. You know,
Yeah.
Robin is being so professional today, and I call her my resident laugh meter because whenever we're on Clubhouse or
Yeah.
we're somewhere and she's got that little typing thing, she is putting all kind of zingers in there and just
Yeah.
making us almost pee on ourselves. So we gotta loosen up, and we know we're gonna get some good juicy conversation coming up with
Yes.
Robin later on. So I'm gonna come back to you, Robin, so we can give
Okay.
our fearless leader an
Yes.
opportunity to speak. You know, Focus, you
Yes.
were the lead author on this project, and you were
Yes.
the one that came up with this with another one of the Power 13
Right.
to
Right.
even have the ideal to bring these stories to light.
Yes.
What was it that inspired you
Yes.
to even begin to put together the Power 13 and collectively bring our stories to the
Yeah.
light of day?
So first, I want to say Robin being behave because she at work, y'all. So she need to she got to behave. So that's why
Okay.
she is so professional. And thank you to Robin. She's actually working on my taxes. So I use her. My son used her. I recommend several of my clients to use her too. So she the real deal. She keep her ear to the ground and making sure she moving with that. So I just want to give her that shout out because she didn't got me paid. Okay.
And
So
that's at All Aspects Tax Service,
that's
right?
right. That's
And
right.
where are you located, Robin?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
But I can be anywhere in the United States or abroad to get this done, right? As long as I'm an American citizen.
Absolutely.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just
As long as you're
I want to
American
put that out
citizen, I
there.
can do anybody's taxes in the continental United
Yeah.
States, any of the islands or anything that is U.S. born. I can also do foreign taxes as well.
See, I hope
Wow.
y'all are listening. So you want to make sure that you have someone that
Yeah.
can do your taxes correctly and make sure you
Yeah.
get all the deductions you
Yeah.
needed. Because I can tell you, as someone that has been following Robin and hearing the testimonies from the people that have
Yeah.
used her service,
Yeah.
they are getting their taxes properly done. So check out Robin over there, All Aspects
Yeah.
Tax
Yeah.
Services, because she is
And I
a
know
Power
you
13 member
Power
that is
13.
handling her business.
Definitely. And I'm actually starting to cry because I think, Robin, part of your connection and writing this chapter, you really got that your entrepreneurship came from your father. Is that right, Robin? That's
That's
I know
correct.
you asked me a question, but I'm just getting
That's
overjoyed
okay.
right now that gave birth to this woman who now does taxes all across the country. And then writing this book, she realized, wait, my dad was an entrepreneur. And part of her story, I'm not gonna give her story away because you gotta read it. But part of her story, she had an aha moment when she met him, was like, this is why I'm so different. I knew I was different from the other people in my family, but he had this entrepreneur blood, and it was able for her to connect to something inside of her that she knew was different than when she met her dad. Is that right, Robin? We're gonna get back to me. We're gonna get back to me, Brenda. I think that's such a juicy part of this journey because we can't put it all in the pages. But that was such a jewel you got out of this, right, Robin? Tell us about that. Oh, she froze again. She froze again.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
see,
see, for those of my listeners that are listening right now, that's what happens when you have double podcasters, interviewers on a thing because everybody wants to take over and do the show, and that's okay
I'm so
because
sorry.
this here is how we roll. We
I'm so
switch
sorry.
roles. We do play. See, Focus is so used to being in
I'm so
the
sorry.
seat of leadership
Yeah.
on a regular basis that she don't know how to just be a guest.
I'm
So we're
sorry.
gonna help her with that today.
Today.
You can take off your cape today, Miss Focus, and just you focus on focus for right now while Rob is getting back with us. So let's get back to your question. As the leader of this group, what
Oh
inspired you?
God. Oh yeah. Well, first of all, just being around you has grown me. No one has called me out better in such gracious ways. I can hear Brendan. You know how some people to get in your world and it makes you defensive and repel, and they can be right, but you still got to argue your point.
Uh-huh,
Not
uh-huh.
Brendan. Brendan pokes at me in a way that, as you can see, I just cracks up, and I'm like, yes, I'm so doing that. I didn't even realize I was doing that.
That's
So
okay.
iron sharpens iron, and Brenda
Yeah.
has sharpened me and humbled me in so many ways. Because I do consider myself as a leader and very resourceful. But anybody know Brenda? Oh my God, the levels of research you do is incredible. So this project was stemmed from one of my amazing friends and clients, and now a fellow coach. She went
Hello.
through a life coaching program, which her name is Adrienne Conyers Bay. She has the honor in this book to kick off the first chapter. So as soon as
Yes.
you open up the book, she is why you're reading the entire book. She saw a post that said daddy daughter book kind of a thing, and she reached
Mhm.
out to me when we were doing our weekly book club, and she said, hey Focus, what do you think about this? I said, I think you should do it, and I'm in as well. What I said. Then that person chose to move on, and we continue with the project. And that's how it birthed so many people. I kept thinking, who would be powerful and a team player and
Mhm.
add value and know how to play on the playground. And of course, I thought of Brenda. Brenda and I have been busting it up on these social media streets for a minute. And
Mhm.
we finally got to meet each other in person just last week when she was up
Yeah.
here in New York. So yeah, it was a no-brainer for me because I knew, literally, and you'll see in my book, that the daddy-daughter dynamic in my life, it literally sculpts just about every decision I made in my teens as well as my young adulthood. And I did not get that till 2012 when I did a program called Landmark Education. And then it was like a aha moment that I'm still chasing, living through the pain of my dad and all the decisions that I made. So I said this was an amazing opportunity for us to really showcase the work. Because we always hear
Mhm.
people say you got to do the work. Well, what the heck does that look like? Right. And why
Absolutely.
should I even do it? And what's the benefits and the results? Well, it's in 13 chapters where you'll see how the ladies done the work and made a difference in their life.
And so now you with Adrian decided to do this project. How did you go about picking the other 11 women that would be
Yeah,
part of the Power 13?
absolutely. So we begin to employ people and go, what are your thoughts about doing? And several ladies said, no, thank you. I'm
Mhm.
not ready.
Okay.
They didn't think their relationship with their dad was suffice to be able to tell it. Some women thought it was too personal. I don't want to
Mhm.
go there, right? Some
Mhm.
thought, it's going to kick up so much pain. I can't even
Absolutely.
deal with that myself right now, right? So it was a lot of conversations. I talked to at least about 50 women.
Mhm.
So right now we have 3 women lined up for the next book, but it was a lot of women. And what it made me do, some people might say, well, Focus, that I would have felt rejected. I'm like, well, maybe it's not the project. No, what it made me do is say, this is absolutely the project that I spoke to roughly about 50 women, and like 40 of them were still going through it, and they
Mhm.
grown folks. And then when I
Absolutely.
got in it, Brenda started writing it. All these emotions came up for me too. And I'd done the work and thought I was
Mhm.
good. And
Mhm.
then as I started peeling back layers, asking questions, my cousin's telling me my father loved to play chess. I talked to my brother who said my father had been diagnosed with 5 mental health issues. And it was a lot to unpack. So I totally get to all the ladies that are listening that I asked you. First of all, I get it now. Let me say that. I mean, I got it then because it's such a walk. But I got it even more now when I start unpacking my stuff. And hopefully, when you read this book, you'll be a yes. And when you get the book, if you're a yes, you got first dibs. Because again, we're only going to pick about 12 women, this time, as well.
Mhm.
So it took a lot trying to cipher through and make sure that they're ready because we didn't want anybody really to quit, because we
Right.
knew it was going to take something, and we wanted nurturers that you not only know how to help us nurture one another, but in the book you hear nurturing kinds of concepts and not people judging and bashing dads. I didn't want any of that, right, Brenda? Not
Right.
interested
Talked
in
about that.
causing shame and guilt, right? So
Mhm.
that's also went through the process.
How did you balance dealing with the emotional weight of your own story
Yeah,
while helping other people deal with the emotional turmoil that showed up with
yeah,
each person as they wrote their chapter, because you were the lead author and everyone was coming to you, so that
yeah.
was a lot of energy,
It was.
a lot of uh, hurt, a
Yes,
lot of shame,
yeah,
guilt, uh, work through that had to take
yeah,
place. How
yeah,
did you deal with that during the
yeah.
process?
Well, I got to tell you a couple things. First of all, I have therapy myself every Monday from noon to 1. I deal with a lot of people's stuff. So I'm
Okay.
okay with going to therapy to flush it out,
Mm-hmm.
and to reposition myself and reframe. So that's a staple in my life, right?
Okay.
But I also use Mike. Mike is our manuscript coach. All of our chapters would due at a certain date. But because I was doing what you said, helping so many people, when it came to put mine to paper and pen, I was overwhelmed because I had
Right.
everybody's trauma in my head and worry and concerns in my head. When I came to sit down and do mine, I was already like, Robin,
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, and I'm thinking about all of these women. So Mike was like, take a breath and give it a couple of days and come back to it focus, right? So I had to ask the ladies, give me a second before I talk to anybody else, because I need to finish my chapter in order to do that. And I am a natural, well, I don't know about natural, but I am an empath. So this is where I get to not dump on, but dump in my therapy, flush it all out, right? So that's definitely what I had to do. Also had to talk to you, several of the other ladies in process. So conversation was everything for me. Long bubble baths, right? Epsom salt baths, doing some
Mm-hmm.
journaling, singing to the top of my lungs, Whitney Houston, I'm every woman, right?
Right.
So it was very intentional, buying 10 candles, from Bed Bath
Mm-hmm.
or whoever, which one of those bees,
Right.
and
Right.
lighting a candle too. When I go to sit down to write, I would light a candle to shift the space and the smell in the room. It was very intentional. I couldn't just haphazardly get that chapter down and move this book forward. I got to be honest with you. It's not that kind of task. Sometimes Brenda, we're on autopilot. You know what I mean, Robin?
Right. Right.
Autopilot. This was not an autopilot kind of project. You need to be present and constant and consistently managing your emotions. Look like you wanted to say something, Robin.
Absolutely. You couldn't do this on autopilot. You had to focus. Um, I happened to have written mine over 5 days and I ended up writing it on my cell phone. So,
Mhm.
because I'm a busy mom and I
Yeah,
have a lot of things to do. So it was an honor to do it. But I was like, where can I find time to pour into what I needed to do? And
right.
it was overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
And the challenges going forward to try to make sure, does it make sense? Am I going to offend anybody?
Right.
Then I was like, well, if I offend them, they'll be all right. Everybody love me enough; they'll get over it. But at this point, it's like, my dad is deceased, so
Mhm.
it's kind of like, I talked to my siblings, and they really didn't care. They didn't know what it was, but it's like for the most part, they wanted to know. Did they get their cut? Will they get their cut? I said, when we do the movie, you'll get your part.
What did you say when they get their movie? They get
I said, when we get the movie rights, we'll get you in there. We'll get you in there.
Now I want to take the time to put the book back up there so you see the title, so that you can go to Amazon right now
yeah,
and purchase the Daddy Daughter Dynamic: The Path to Healing,
yeah,
where 13 women share their traveled roads to forgiveness, healing, self-awareness, and most importantly, self-love. It's the
mhm,
Daddy Daughter Dynamic, and we are battling for our number one bestseller badge. We've already got
yeah,
number one release in self esteem, and we've already got bestseller, but we want number one bestseller. We want those
yeah,
bragging rights, and we want
yeah,
y'all to help us get them. And the reason we want those bragging rights is because we want to start a conversation that impacts people around the world. Because daddy daughter dynamics are not unique to women in the United States.
I know that's
How
right.
women are treated around the world
Yeah,
as it relates to their fathers
Right.
is something worth discussing. And
That's
I'm
it.
so excited that I have these two powerful women here with me to discuss that. And I'm going to take a step back and let Focus put on her question cap again because she's good at it. And
Oh,
she has some questions for Robin as it relates to what she does in her professional life and
yeah.
how that translated from what she learned in the process of the book. So, Focus, I relinquish my seat to you, ma'am.
Thank you so, thank you so much. You humbled me. I'm trying not to cry over here because it's just a blessing when you're around people that elevate you, right? Not put you down, not let you down, not pull you apart. But every time I'm with you, ladies, it just elevates me, right? It just
Mm-hmm.
gives me an opportunity to blossom, and everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to feel like I'm doing better. I'm doing me, and people see it and appreciate that. It's just such a blessing. This been a long time coming, and it feels like it's the beginning. Even though we gave, how you give birth to the newborn baby,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next 3 years you don't sleep, right?
Right, right, right,
You were
right.
waiting for this baby to come, and you named the child before it was born, the clothes. We done named the book, we done made the cover, and shout out to Brenda. She had like four type, sample covers for us in like 3 days when we first started. She helped us do the tagline. So much she's given to us, and same thing with Robin. We had to revamp her chapter so many times because of the potency of what it was that Arthur House was, concerned about any backlash. And Robin got in there and Brenda got in there with her. And we were like, we're going to make this work so it can get published. And then you can say what the heck you want to say and how you want to say it on the other side of this. But I did want to just give that to you because as I was hearing you talk, I was like, wow, that was one of the connections she made in doing this book is that her father looked like her. And when she means that, she meant mentally. Right, he had entrepreneurship where the other family looking at her like she crazy, like why you selling this? On, just get a job. But
Mm-hmm.
when she met her father, then he was a businessman too. Then that aha moment, came in for her. So go ahead, Robin. I would love to hear that part that you connected with. And you're muted. You muted, beautiful.
Can y'all hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, we
we
can.
hear you
So,
now.
yeah, my dad was a roofer. He used to do odd kind of jobs, contract stuff, and he did some commercial work, and it expanded to him being a team player and getting his own crew to do other work. He made himself so busy where he was like, I got to send this person out to do this. I got to send that person out. And they would all come back and report to him. And mind you, I didn't meet my dad till I was 16. So, it was a whole new world for me. And you'll read a lot about that in the book.
Yeah.
And to get him to, incite and share quite a bit of information, what the responsibility is, to be taught that, you have nothing but your word, so stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been a thing for me. I can't do for others if I don't have a word. And I do have that nurturing spirit. I like to help people. I guess that's how I kind of fell into doing taxes. Because when
Mm-hmm.
I told my dad that's what I was trying to do, he was like, "Well, make your money, do what you have to do." And shortly thereafter, he actually passed. But I was happy for the fact that I have been immersed in a situation where I can live, learn, and fall back on the things that I've been taught. And it has put me in new circles with different people. Having met you two, with all the other women that are just phenomenal and doing the
Yeah.
things that they do, and everybody has a part to
Yeah.
play and insight to give. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
That's really good, Robin. And while we stop, I'm gonna put something else that ties into like what the book did. I'm gonna bring up the other book that is also on Amazon today. This is
Oh,
the book that my business partner Lisa DeShoram and I wrote called "The Truth About How to Save Money and Time: Amazingly Simple Business Success Tips." This is also available today on Amazon in a total different category. So today I felt like I was competing against myself till I realized they were separate categories, but both books are battling for number one in their category. This is a best-selling book already, and we're looking for our number one bestseller badge as well. And if you click the link in my Instagram, you
yeah.
can find both books. If you click the link inside of YouTube, it's there so that you can find both books as well, The Daddy Daughter Dynamic and The Truth About How to Save Money and Time. And why that is relevant to today, because we had a slight miscommunication. So our book launch
Yeah.
was started a little bit early, and then we followed it into today. And this launch was already scheduled because the truth about how to save money and time was already scheduled for today because we pre-ordered that book, and it officially releases today on the 28th, the paperback and the Kindle for the second book. And so that's important because I was doing that book while we were in the midst of doing the daddy-daughter dynamic book. So all of these books were coming out. And this is about how we began to birth our purpose.
Right.
As we began to deal with the things that were causing us what I call schmilt, shame and guilt. Shame is you did something. Shame is you are bad. Guilt is you did something bad. And I combined them because I had a lot of schmilt. And as I was working through that, I was harboring a lot of limiting beliefs that I actually coach other people to let go of.
Yeah.
That limiting belief that said, I can't do that and do this. But because of the Daddy-Daughter Project, I realized that not only could I do it, that I would do it, and I would do like those at the Take Action University because I am an implementer and I take action.
Come on.
That is something that a lot of people fail to do. They'll start these projects, they may have a collaborative group, and then they find themselves where the group explodes because there is no leadership, no guidance, and they don't have the ability to really work through the emotional minefield that can come up when you deal with subjects like this. And I want to say I feel very blessed that we had Coach Mike, we had Focus, we had each other walk us through when we found ourselves being a little bit pulled on our professional lives, our personal lives, and then the demands of writing this such deep personal cathartic work. So I think that it was a process that not only helped each of us grow, but for the readers that are going to come and find each of the chapters. And I wanted to list the chapters out here for the people that are listening. There are 13 chapters, one for each member of the Power 13. And chapter 1 is From Wounded to Victorious. Chapter 2, A Family Secret. Chapter 3, Where is My Daddy? Chapter 4, The Decisions He Made. Chapter 5, My Daddy Died 4 Times. Family Secrets. Chapter 6, A Father to the Fatherless. Chapter 7, Real or Real, Two Sides of Reality. Chapter 8, Second Coming Rebirth, The Setup in the Beginning. Chapter 9, Evolution of a Butterfly. Chapter 10, Trust No One. Chapter 11, The Father of Lies. Chapter 12, Lopsided, Balancing the Scales of My Soul. And chapter 13, Shaken but Not Stirred. I love each of the titles.
Me too.
They make me just excited to go read and see what each person is doing. And I've had the privilege of reading some of them. I tell you, when you get prepared to read, you need to have your water, your tea, your coffee, your tissue, maybe a friend to hold your hand, your boo so you can snuggle. Because it will take you on an emotional journey. And I would say, Randy, I feel like we should have put trigger warning on one of the pages.
How about that?
After, we have those afterthoughts because there are some things when I read some people's stories that I was personally triggered.
Yeah, me too.
So I want to warn the readers that this is not a walk in the park, but it is a walk through a walk through a person's journey to get to healing, to get to forgiveness. And we talk a lot about forgiveness as a group in the Facebook group that is named after the book, the Daddy-Daughter Dynamic Facebook group. We talk about forgiveness because forgiveness, we often hear, even before we got to this point, that it's not for the other person, it's for you. Because it's like when you hold on to something hot, and expecting somebody else to get burned. Or my mom used to say, why are you drinking poison expecting somebody else to die?
Exactly.
Why are you allowing people to take up a space in your brain rent-free? All those little sayings that we hear. And through this process, I don't know about you, Robin or Focus, but I was toting around a lot of my crap in U-Haul trucks, okay? Not luggage, but in U-Haul trucks. Driving them all around the country and around the world everywhere I went. I took my victim, parade with me. And each time something or someone
Hmm.
got in my way or in my view,
Sure.
I would run them over, back up, do figure eights because I'm not gonna let nobody else hurt me, and I'll throw them in the back of one of them
Right,
trucks.
right, right. Exactly. And for those that are thinking, who is this book for? Because
Mhm.
that she's a CEO. She got a $500,000 home. She got kids and a husband. She don't need this book. No, the woman that's still throwing adult tantrums needs this book, right? Because that's what that
Absolutely.
is. Because we're acting out of fear and pain, and we
Mhm.
like, listen, I'm gonna shut you down before you shut me down. Anybody know anybody like that, right? The man
Absolutely.
that is dominating over everybody. That's who it's for. And it's for the female that's docile, quiet, and never found the right one. Right?
Mhm.
So for the whole gamut, right? Right, Brenda? The whole gamut, right,
It is. It's for any woman that wants to take the opportunity to see redemption,
Rob? Mm,
forgiveness, self healing, self awareness through somebody else's eyes. Because
yes.
the reality, focus, I used to live on Millionaire Row without a care in the world, person masseuse, Olympic sized swimming pool, and I
Mm,
was probably the most miserable I was in my life. Right
mm,
now, I live in a 3 bedroom fixer upper ranch that I'm going room to room to re renovate right now, and I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life.
mm, mm,
See,
mm.
because what people will find as you read this book with all the different levels of experiences with the ages from, like you say, millennial to
Right.
senior.
Yes.
These are women that have lived lives, that have loved and lost, that have lived and learned, that
Yes.
have, hit rock bottom and found their way back up to the top. We have doctors, as I said, we have doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs, all of it. You got sex, you got drugs, you got rock and roll. It is in
Been
there.
there.
There is
Been there.
betrayal. There is everything that you would expect. But the thread between it all is
Mm,
that sense of that your past does not equal your future,
yes.
that you have choices,
Yes.
and the choices that you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow, so that we
Yes.
each have to choose wisely. I
Mhm.
say that all the time to people,
Yes. Yes.
and I think it's important as people decide, do I really want this book? Because some people I know are going to buy it just to support us and it's going to sit on the shelf
Thank
until
you.
one day
Yeah.
they realize they're that woman sitting on their bathroom floor crying, asking
Mm,
God, it's got to be more than this.
mm,
Then
mm.
I want you to pick up this book and find out that not only is there more than this,
Yeah.
there are people that have overcome that and are
Yes.
now living this and are
Yes.
now living lives with futures so bright they got to wear
Mhm.
shades. Because if you're that woman sitting there going,
Mm,
I just can't take one more day like this, I can't
mm,
deal with this man, these kids, this dog, this cat,
mm.
read the book.
Read the book. Come on now. I
Read the
want to read the book. I'm in the book and I wrote the book and I'm like, what is this
you know, I
Yes.
wanted I wanted to come on today and just really give our props to this because it has been a journey and
book?
we are not done yet because
No,
although
not
the
at
book is
all.
out, in my view, we all knew the work didn't really begin until the
Yes.
book was out and we began to go
Correct.
out and talk to people and
Correct.
help facilitate the
Yes.
healing, self-awareness, forgiveness,
Correct.
and self-love that we were writing about in the book. So
Exactly.
I want to wrap this up. I want to give each
Okay.
of you the final thoughts that you have about the daddy daughter dynamic book
Mhm.
and the impact you're hoping that it will make on our communities.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Go
start
ahead,
with you,
Ray.
Bobbin, and focus at you, and then we'll end
Okay.
it up. Okay.
All right.
Well, I am thoroughly elated and joyous and happy that I've been a part of this journey, and it's only going to get better. And I'm praying that everyone who reads our book, uh, they learn and become insightful on the different lives that have been impacted and see the threads that they ebb and flow through each different story. And
Yeah.
I think that everyone has an opportunity to expand and grow and look back on your past to see where you are and where you're going. Because I have grown in immensely in leaps and bounds from where I was when I first started. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't like talking to everybody. And I was kind of like scared. I'm like, I wrote the book. I told folks, I'm good. Y'all go ahead. Y'all do that. But it has opened up a level of understanding
Yeah.
and courage for me to move forward and be able to talk on the platform and to
Yeah.
share the insight that I have learned in my life and grown from. And I'm gonna
Excellent.
land there.
All right. Thank you. I love it when Robin lands so
I
much. I'm
know,
a
see that
land there.
man right
Like we
there.
in Clubhouse. I'm a land there.
She's
And
our
remember,
moderator,
she's
y'all.
landing right in all aspects tax service down there
Yeah,
in
all
Atlanta.
right
Just want to
there.
get
I
that out there
love
too.
it. I
Shout out for Robin, because
love it.
here's the thing. You know, I always say my light will not dim because another sister light shine. We shine brighter together. And it's important as women entrepreneurs that we encourage and promote each other's businesses, especially when it's a business that's on point. It's black owned and it's woman owned, and it is fierce, fabulous, and making a difference down there in Atlanta and around the nation.
Come
So
on.
if you're ready to get your taxes done right,
Yeah.
and get all the benefits of a person that knows the tax laws, you need to go
Yeah.
to all aspects tax service and talk to
Oh,
Robin. And I'm not paid for this. It's just me shouting out a sister entrepreneur that's doing her thing. All right, focus. What you
Thank
got?
you, Brenda.
You're welcome.
the best is yet to come. Get ready, guys, because in the summer we're going to have a 3-day retreat. We're going to have a Friday night where you come and meet all of the authors. You can dine with us. And we're going to do a little dancing, do a little drinking. You get to say hello. Mine will be virgin, but you do your thing. You know, 'cause as Tabitha Brown said, that's my business, right? Love me some Tabitha Brown. And then on Saturday, we're going to have a cluster of workshops and seminars by the actual authors. And then we're going to have by Arthur Cafe, which is the Howards, right? The Howards do an Arthur Cafe quarterly. They're going to exclusively demonstrate and show all of our authors, all 13. So it's going to be specifically for the daddy-daughter dynamic. Normally has about 10 authors there, but we coming and we taking over, right? So that's going to be from like 3 to 6. And then Sunday, we're going to do another cluster workshop. So as you're reading the books, please let us know. What do you want to know more about? Because we all can talk for days, right? Because many of us are trained speakers, preachers, entrepreneurs, so we can talk. But we want to make sure we're serving your needs as the audience. So as you read the chapters, you go, I want to know more about what Brenda said. And how can you forgive when he's already passed? So we definitely doing a workshop on that because a lot of people have asked us that
Absolutely.
process, right? When I was talking to those 50 women, it was like, focus. I can't even know how to complete this because he's gone, right? So we're going to definitely do exercises on how to write letters, journals, write a song, a poem to complete, right? And what to do with that
I
afterwards.
love that.
So
I
that's
love that.
definitely a no-brainer. Me too, right? But we want to hear from you. What do you want to know from this book and expound on? And that's the workshop. That's what we want to deliver. So it's going to be driven by the people. It's going to be driven by the dads, and we're going to have dads there. So this is not just for women, because how can we address the daddy-daughter dynamic if there's only daughters there? So we
Yeah,
need men
absolutely.
to be present, and it's going to be a safe place, ladies. So I know a lot of people have dealt with men in different ways, but I promise you we're going to create a safe place for you to have the men around so you can still do what you do. And we're going to have some separation time too, where the men go here and have their workshop, the women go here. It's going to be amazing. So the best is yet to come. Keep your ear to the ground. Go to Daddy Daughter Dynamic on Facebook page and make sure you become a part of the family so you can hear as things evolve.
Thanks, Focus. Thanks, Robin. And I want to put this up one more time for those that may have joined us late. We are here celebrating the Daddy Daughter Dynamic book release. It's a path to healing. And I want to make sure that before we go, that I give you a couple of tips on how you can have a dynamic, juicy relationship that accounts for a life worth living. I want you to create some healthy boundaries, learn to delay gratification,
Mm,
deal with emotionally healthy people that
mm,
can be themselves.
yes.
I want you to be able to adapt to change,
Yeah.
deal with discomfort
Mm,
effectively, learn to love others as you
mm,
love yourself, take care of yourself physically,
mhm.
make sure that you align yourself with some emotionally healthy people because they're more reliable,
Yes.
and
Yep.
take a proactive stance on
Yeah.
making sure that the relationships that you are a part of
Yeah.
are healthy, that they help light you up, that they
Yeah.
help you be your most authentic health self, and that you work to create habits that support you in
Yeah.
the area of having some dynamic relationships that
Mm,
will light you and lift you up always. I'm
mm.
Brenda Warren. I'm your host. We had Robin with us and Focus James from Focus of Love. And don't forget, If it's time for you to start doing your quarterly annual taxes, go to All Aspects Taxes down there in Atlanta. Yeah, shameless plug.
Mhm.
And see Robin, and make sure that if you are trying to have a juicy life and you need a love and life coach, that you reach out to Focus James on thefocusoflove.com.
Yeah.
Robin, what's your website? Because people need to know where that is. What's your website?
I don't have a website yet.
Oh, okay. We're not doing the website
We're
because see,
still
she's more
establishing it.
busy. She's
I've been busy
established.
by word of mouth.
Okay. Can I get you on Instagram or somewhere like
Yeah.
that? Or
Yes,
okay.
it's all aspects. Facebook, Instagram, all aspects tax service.
Okay, well, there we got that. And just for me, if you're looking for a pattern for living coach or you would like to be a guest on Talk to Me, then you just hit me up on Instagram at Brenda the Solutionist or email me at Brenda the Solutionist.com. That's SOULUTIONIST, Solutionist. And I'll be happy to see if you are a good fit. I interview authors, veterans, and entrepreneurs that are living their best life, that agree that they need to live unapologetically unstoppable, and they're looking forward to having futures so bright they're going to have to wear shades. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to go out and get the book, Daddy Daughter Dynamics.
Yeah.
And I ask my guests to please stand by temporarily while
Okay.
we exit the show. Remember, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. So choose wisely. Be blessed, everyone.
Wow.
Daddy Daughter Dynamic. The Path to Healing is available today on Amazon for 99 cents. Get your Kindle copy today.